Painting believable textures is a necessity for everyone who is planning to pursue a career in digital or traditional painting. Usually, all the basic training is based on practicing on simple forms. This is an easiest and most effective way to learn. We paint still lifes to train some basic shapes with various materials, such as glass, fabric folds, wood, metal, clay, plastic, etc. This episode is going to be about painting wood. I don't want to show you painting a cube of texture, since I don't believe it is educational in any way, or at least it wasn't for me on any stage of my path. So I want to show you how to paint a wooden fence. Here I want to cover the difference between fresh wood, painted, and old slightly rotten one. It is a really cool exercise to paint the same thing in different conditions. My name is Lilia and welcome to my channel. Here you will find beginner-friendly digital art tutorials, tips and tricks for artists, illustrations and daily sketches of mine, so subscribe and let's dive into it. I will be working on an iPad Pro, in Procreate using only default brushes. Today I've chosen two very simple ones. It is a flat and timer brush. Both can be found under the painting section in Procreate library. Opacity of both of them are 100%. This is a parameter I rarely vary, as I prefer to use brushes that are sensitive to pen pressure. Canvas size is quite big as usual, 3500 by 5000 pixels, but you may pick any that fits your creative style. Don't forget to turn on two useful Procreate windows: reference, that can be found under the range menu canvas, and the color wheel. Simply drag it into the desirable spot of your working area. I start drawing a simple line art for our fence. Try to draw it freehand, as this approach helps you to gain more vivid line. Try to add some variation to the plank size, as it makes your final image more visually interesting. Try small dents, little curves, tiny plank rotation here and there. Create a new layer under our line art and take a lasso tool. Fill the selection with neutral brown color. Try something bright and saturated here, as it's going to be our base color. I will create a little palette of colors I'm using for this fence above this drawing. Put an alpha lock on this layer and start to paint. Upper part of this fence is going to be heavily lighted, so I use timer brush and start paint over. I like to use this brush because it has sandy texture and gives an interesting blending effect. I don't draw separate planks yet. First we will define major masses of color. Now I merge line art and our color layer into one and paint over the black lines. Don't overpaint it everywhere. Leave some on the sides and in shadow areas. Now we may proceed to painting texture. I create a separate layer above and make it a clipping mask for our main painting. Let's choose a darker color for painting the textures on the planks. I add few holes here and there and continue working on wood texture. From time to time I go back to the main layer and add some color variation to the planks. I add green, gray and reddish tone to the lower part of the fence. Time to to add some details. I draw simple dark dots on the planks to imitate nails. Let's paint few grass blades here and there to create an illusion of grass. Remember not to draw all the separate stems. Work with big areas and add several brush strokes above. I have a video on painting grass and flowers, so feel free to check it as well. Not all of the grass has to be green. Add color variation somewhere. Let's imagine that some stems are already yellowish and old. Now we have a newly built fence. Let's take a look at the same fence that has been painted red and has been standing here for a while now. I copy previous fence layer and overpaint our illustration a little bit. Under the sun, paint will become rather orange, so the upper part of the fence will change the color. I will add the areas where the paint fell off the planks. Lowest part of the fence became grayish. The texture turns out to be barely visible here. The paint is scratched in multiple locations. So this is our fence being used for a while. Let's keep fantasizing. Several years passed by. This fence has seen better times. Let's paint it. I add bushes behind the planks. I have a separate video on speedy bush painting in Procreate, so check it as well. The vegetation in front of the fence grow taller. Some planks have been rotten and other broken or tilted. Planks' color became more and more grayish. Initial red color is almost lost. The structure of the texture changes. More deep dents, more cracks. Fresh red paint became white. Moss is growing on the planks. Here is a full transformation. From a fresh fence to an abandoned one. I hope this video was helpful for you and you've learned something new. This type of exercise is quite helpful for a beginner concept artist and illustrator, so you may try to draw something else using the same approach. Stay tuned for more tutorials and time-lapse drawings. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, hug the subscribe button and see you on my next one. Cheers!